Hello and welcome to World Insight, coming to you live from Beijing on CCTV News. I'm your host, Tian Wei. We start this week's show with an incident over the high seas. Two fighter planes, one from the U.S. and one from China, had a near miss over the South China Sea this past week. The incident highlighted the need to establish rules of the game, which was the aim of a big meeting between U.S. and Chinese military officials, which coincidentally also took place this week. A code of conduct for naval and air forces on the high seas could go a long way to avoid misunderstandings, but building a foundation of trust is sure to take a lot of time.
Top brass from both sides, but meeting behind closed doors. No media were allowed as U.S. and Chinese military officials discussed a code of conduct in international waters. Analysts say better lines of communication between the two sides may be key to avoiding clashes. But the discussions were overshadowed by what the U.S. described as a dangerous intercept by a Chinese jet towards a U.S. patrol plane last week. The Pentagon accused the Chinese pilots acting dangerously and unprofessionally.
On the 19th of August, an armed Chinese fighter jet conducted a dangerous intercept of a U.S. Navy P-8 Poseidon aircraft, a patrol aircraft that was on a routine mission.
But China dismissed the accusation, saying frequent U.S. recon operations were to blame.
The cause of the incident is the frequent reconnaissance activities by U.S. aircraft very close to China's shores. The U.S. always focuses on technical issues, such as the distance between aircraft during such encounters, but then ignores the basic problem, which is the fact that the U.S. conducts many nearby reconnaissance activities.
The White House was also questioned about the details of the incident, but the spokeswoman either gave information contradicting her Pentagon counterpart or dodged the questions entirely. The Pentagon said the recon was routine.
So how can you justify this kind of routine patrol is not provocative to the Chinese side?
I don't think we viewed it as routine, and that's why we expressed the concern.
And did the U.S. inform China about the recon flight?
Do you notify the Chinese when you plan specific surveillance
I was
flights,
referring, broadly speaking, to our engagement in the zone, in the air zone.
Okay, fair enough.
Is this actually included? Have you notified China?
I'm just not going to have any more details on this particular topic.
And
Go
finally,
ahead. We're going to move on. Go ahead.
The U.S. has never notified China about its aircraft and ships' close surveillance activities near China.
Both sides criticized the other of undermining trust between each other's militaries. But it's hardly the first incident over the South China Sea. At the end of 2013, a Chinese warship and a U.S. battleship had a near miss. And back in 2001, a U.S. spy plane collided with a Chinese fighter jet, killing the Chinese pilot. But there's also been a push to improve military exchanges between the two countries. During Chinese President Xi Jinping's first visit to the U.S., Xi and Obama agreed to foster a new type of military relations. And it's hoped the latest round of talks in Washington will help minimize misunderstandings and avoid more potentially deadly incidents over the high seas.